dark ones that comes there. The plain ones. They eat fruits over them.
Oh, I know they do.
Man, they're delicious.
You saying what Dad said?
I like eating toast bread.
What are you baking? Where's the toast gone?
I don't know. I guess we'll be hanging a picture or a mirror over that spot. Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for clicking on another video of mine. I really appreciate it. Unless it's your first time here, in which case I invite you to subscribe. What you see me doing here is an impromptu bathroom remodel. So what happened was we had a little plumbing issue last night, an issue with the toilet, which led to me and Dad having to take the toilet off the floor. Fix the issue, but I said the toilet's as old as the house. It's the toilet that was put in there when the house was built 28 years ago. So I said, I don't think I want to put the old toilet back on. The flange is gone. The plumbing needs to be fixed down beneath, which is in the ceiling of the bottom story. Not a big deal. It's all open down there. Then if I'm putting in a new toilet, the floor in here is old, so I figured maybe I should get new flooring before I put in a new toilet. Otherwise it's going to have to come off again anyway. Now if we're putting down new flooring, the vanity and the furniture, the tall unit there, the storage cabinet, whatever, had to come out. That had some issues as well. So I said, is it worth putting that back there with the new toilet and the new floor? And we've decided just to go ahead and do a quick remodel. Now I'm saying a quick remodel because it is the middle of winter here in Newfoundland. My wife is working full-time and pregnant. I am still running my business, so I'm working in the evenings. We do not have a lot of time. We have two little girls right now, two little toddlers. We are busy, so this isn't the big dramatic, take 2 months to do a remodel. We are fortunate enough to have 2 bathrooms. So we're okay to decommission this one for a few days, but I don't have the time, and we just don't have the time to be picking at this for weeks and weeks. So, like I said, just last night we decided this all happened last night, last thing in the evening, and here we go. You're about to see dramatic transformation in the matter of just a couple days. Now the tub and the ceramics back here are not getting changed. That's getting left for now. Eventually I want to turn this into a stand-up tub shower, redo all the ceramics, but for now I'm not prepared to handle that project. Secret ingredient to this project. Let me know if you know why I just spread this on the floor. First one to say gets a free mug. You know, the reason that I know that that was the original toilet installed in the house, the reason I know the house is exactly 28 years old, the reason I know that this is the original tub and ceramics in the house is because this was actually my childhood home. Well, I'm back, and I bought a house. Not a year ago, last April, so we're approaching it now. You guys, a lot of you have been watching long enough to remember when I bought this house. I bought it from my parents. My parents moved on, and bought it from my parents, and that's why I know that these things are originals, because my dad built them, and I know they're 28 years old because that's how old I am. And Dad built this house himself when Mom was pregnant for me. It's kind of a crazy story. You guys know that I'm a Newfoundlander. I was born and raised here all of my life. My dad, on the other hand, was born here in Newfoundland, and then when he was very young, just a very young child, his parents took him to Toronto, Ontario, which is a pretty big culture shock, but that's where he was raised right up until, well, they had my two older brothers and still living in Toronto, and they decided to make the move back here to the island, back to the province. My mom was born and raised here in Newfoundland, but they decided to make the move back here, and they bought a little small house next door to the piece of land that this house is sitting on. And my dad was working, I believe, full-time at the time. My mom was pregnant for me, and my dad built this house, I guess, on evenings and weekends. Built it himself, all except for the electrical, and that was done. You guys have seen Cody on the channel. Cody's dad actually did all the electrical. He's not an electrician, but he was handy at the time, and back at that time here in Newfoundland, that's all it required. You did not have to have a professional or someone with papers or anything, I don't believe, come in and wire your home. If you had the knowledge to do it yourself, you could do that, but Cody's dad, funny enough, Cody is now a journeyman electrician. So, but that's how this house came about, which again is really hard to imagine. And you have to think as well that's not a time when you could just Google every step of the way. How to plumb a toilet, how to plumb a sink, how to make a sink trap, how to build a truss. Those opportunities weren't there. And even here then, you could not just run to a local library like you could in a big center and check out a book. Just things weren't that easy, which is incredible. Now I've had the opportunity to learn so much growing up because, for one, my dad is experiencing a lot of different things and taught me a lot of different things growing up. And I've had the opportunity to do things like when I was in high school, I got to work with an electrician, a residential electrician, for a few weeks. My cousin, I left home and worked for an entire summer with my cousin, who was a professional flooring layer. And my dad was gone a lot when I was growing up because he worked away, seasonal work. So I got to do a lot of stuff at a very young age. I got to put down flooring, laminate flooring and moldings, and do paint, and a lot of different things I got to do. My parents trusted me to do a lot of different projects. Now, if you're a young guy around my age or younger than me, and you've just bought your first home, you didn't have that, and you didn't have the opportunity to grow up like I did, trying a lot of different things besides someone who was experienced and knowledgeable, that's okay. A lot of these different things that you can do, besides having the web now, where you can look everything up, most of these things aren't that hard. You can kind of muddle your way through and figure things out. They may not be perfect when you're done, but they aren't that bad. Just don't be afraid to try a lot of different things, like plastering. It's one of those things that it's hard to get perfect, but with some extra mess and some extra time, you can do a pretty decent job. And that's what I end up doing with plaster. I'm not a fantastic plasterer. That's something I've never even had someone really show me how to do, but I end up doing an okay job with it. I probably take more time than I should, make more mess than I should, have to do more sanding than I should, but I end up with decent work just because I try it. I take my time, I put my mind to it. And of course, you guys know that I do have a lot of experience in plumbing as well. I simply needed to unattach these shark bite fittings so I could pull the valve through the wall. Now, I had already supposedly shut off the water line that's feeding into this, so I have the bucket here just to catch the bit of water that's draining, or that's going to drain from the line. That was a little bit more messy than I was expecting, a little more pressure on the line, but I'll just hold my bucket here and wait for it to drain off. My bucket is now half full of water and filling really fast, and I just realized that this line is not stopping. This line is still wide open.
Watching the professional? Hey, baby.
No. Get out of there. Out of there.
I'm going there.
Because mommy's working in here.